Hello and welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Make sure to smash the likes and subscribe if you're new. We're trying to hit 500 before the end of the year. And also, we are streaming the England-Slovakia game. We are doing a watch along at 4:45. So you're also seeing this a couple hours later. Just hop on the watch along with me and we'll try and not fall asleep to get our Southgate football. Yeah, we've got a few farewells to do, guys. We've got a few farewells to do. And that is including 3 players that have left West Ham United. This is the thing as well. I usually do a farewell video on like separate players, but these are 3 players that is a bit of a mixture of opinion. Obviously, 2 prominent first team players inside Benrahma and Ben Johnson, but also someone that was meant to be a breakthrough prospect last year in Divin Mubama. Now, as soon as it came out 6 months ago that they were still on contracts, I knew the outcome was going to happen. There was a bit of hope that we could still redo the contract. It doesn't seem Mubama's particularly happy with the situation. He doesn't really post about the club anymore. He hasn't even posted a goodbye message. He just posted a picture with him lifting the trophy. I'm sure he loves the club and stuff like that, but he's been absolutely fisted when it comes to the promises that he was made in terms of the first team football. As well, and it was promised that he was going to get included more. He got included, like, he didn't start a league game, he barely played a league game. Was great coming on against Burnley in that Burnley away game, was a great presence. Didn't get any service against Baka Topola, where we were absolutely awful. We needed, ironically, Maxwell Cornet to come on. The guy could have been something, but the problem is the reason why he looked like a fish out of water in the first team is because of the system. Like every other striker, people complain and complain and complain about how strikers perform at West Ham, but maybe, just maybe, it was the manager that was the problem. Mikel Antonio is the only one that fits into David Moyes' system because he's a specific sort of striker with specific sort of attributes. And Scamacca, Sebastian Haller, Divine Mubama, even Jared Bowen to an extent, are all victims of that. The reason why the Jared Bowen fraud experiment ended was because Mikel Antonio is way better at that sort of striker role that David Moyes likes. However, it didn't matter in the end because we got battered every week. And yeah, good luck to Divine Mubama. I hope he finds a championship club where he can fully thrive, where he can get some first team football. I'm hoping he goes to like a Sunderland or something. Like I've seen him linked with like Sunderland and Derby before. I think Derby just got promoted, so hopefully he gets some first team football. I want him to actually get some first team football. I will be rooting for his career, and I generally hope he has a great career. Some of that was very key to the under-18 Youth Cup squad. I don't want to lose many players from that squad because I generally think there's a good crop of youngsters there. I don't want to lose Callum Marshall. I don't want to lose Kadoa. I don't want to lose Orford, Orford, Kelly, Earthy, even Casey to an extent. We'll see how he does. Like, mainly the midfielders and attackers from that squad I don't really want to lose, but we've lost 1 of 6 so far. The thing is, I'm always upset when a youngster leaves the club, but however, I'm more upset because I generally think he is good enough for first team football, but his game was more running in behind rather than always running the channels and always scrapping with defenders, etc. I'm not going to put too much pressure on the kid either, but I hope he does well. I hope he finds a championship club because it should be a championship club, nothing League One-ish, and hopefully he can thrive on it. And hopefully whoever he plays for will be on TV so I can watch him. Because I watch the Championship quite a lot. Second departure, Ben Johnson. We've discussed Ben Johnson already. Talking about his move to Ipswich, which I'm sure will be announced in the next couple of days. It's already been announced that he will depart. Obviously, we're coming to the end of June where it's actually official that Moyes won't be manager of West Ham. Technically, he's still manager on technical terms because his contract he's still contracted till the end of June. You know, and I think Lopetegui will address the media for the first time tomorrow. However, moving back to Ben Johnson, obviously his contract's coming to an end. Ben Johnson was someone that was first included by Manuel Pellegrini in the 18-19 season. I'm pretty sure then he had a big injury, and then he didn't really get to have a chance to play that much until lockdown, I'd say. Obviously, Jeremy Ngakia was coming through Moyes, and speaking of contracts, Ngakia and his agent were stolen over contracts, and you've seen how his career has gone. He went to Watford, and it hasn't been the same since. I don't even know how he's doing, to be completely honest with you. But moving on, in the 2021 season, we saw Ben Johnson playing a few games, but we didn't really see Ben Johnson play consistently. I never really rated him from there, to be completely honest with you, because when I see a youngster coming in, I want to see what kind of fundamentals they have. It just seemed that Ben Johnson was a guy who played in a lot of different positions, and that's why he made it, rather than a guy who actually has any ability, to say the least. The guy is not, even though he scored a couple goals, he's not really a great striker of the ball. He's not a great dribbler with the ball. He's not great at dribbling at all. He's faster than Vladimir Sufa, which is a reason why people feel it's refreshing to see him on the pitch. Because being faster than Sufa is not hard. I'm sure some of you at home are probably faster than Vladimir Sufa, if I'm being deadly honest with you. But also, coming through the 21-22 season was when he was starting to make a name for himself. You know, the goal against Villa, the great performances against Tottenham, Liverpool, Aston Villa, Everton, etc. in that 4-game period. But then, from there, we didn't really see much of how he was going to develop, and that does also come down to the fact that the manager at the time does not know how to develop a young player. However, is what it is. Like, I'm also going to half the blame when it comes to managers and players. I always do it. I always do that. As much as I wanted David Moyes out, I also think some of the players that played for West Ham are not good enough either. So that's just my opinion. But with Ben Johnson, he started to really frustrate me during the 22-23 season. Games like against Liverpool where he's failing to close people down. Games like Bournemouth at home where he's just passing the ball off the pitch. The guy doesn't really have the basics of football. Maybe it does come down to a little bit more of coaching, because 90% of players, don't get me wrong, is down to coaching nowadays. And managers are probably the most important thing out of football. The director of football and manager together being on the same wavelength is probably the most important thing now. But to a player's career, the manager is the most important thing. That never really used to be the case. I would say pre 2018, 2017. There was a lot of individualism in football, and that's not a bad thing, because when we watch football now, there's a lot of sideways passing, a lot of robotic stuff, a lot of boring games. But however, if you want to thrive in this sort of era of football, you've got to have a structure, and that's what comes with it, unfortunately. There's not many Pakistan Kuduses in football, and I'm not even saying that to be biased. I'm saying that because these are great individuals. I think Vinny Jr. is also a great individual. I think Jamal Musiala is a great individual. I'm just talking if I'm talking world football, those are the individuals. Like the creatives and stuff like that. So maybe Ben Johnson will be doing better under Kieran McKenna at Ipswich. However, I don't think he's good enough. I'm not exactly losing sleep over it. And I'm glad that some of you in the comments when I was talking about Ben Johnson previously also agreed with me. I'm glad there's people out there who see what I'm thinking when it comes to Ben Johnson as well, and not just overrating the kid. The guy seems like a very nice guy, but the guy is not what you think he is in terms of a footballer. It was just refreshing to see someone faster than Vladimir Sufa actually play for West Ham. But the guy was playing on a wing, and he just wasn't a winger as well. I feel sorry for him in terms of the fact he was played in every position. Like, quite literally, he's played in every position apart from goalkeeper, number 10 and striker for West Ham. He played in every position. And that's a fact. He played in DM, centre mid, he played in wing back, both sides. He played in centre back, in a 4, in a 3, and he played in both full back positions. So the only positions he didn't play was goalkeeper, number 10 and striker. But yeah, good luck to Ben Johnson. But I think he comes off as a humble guy, etc. But I'm not losing sleep over it. And I'm not losing sleep over this next departure either in terms of Said Benrahma. Said Benrahma was a player that, in typical West Ham fashion, in this saga of trying to get the transfer deal over the line, it was noted that Benrahma's deal was off and on quite a lot during the 2021 season, where we loaned out Felipe Anderson to, I think it was Porto. So we then tried to get Said Benrahma as the left winger replacement. He was he was very highly thought of at Brentford. To be completely honest with you, he was very highly thought of. Obviously, played in the front three with Watkins and Mubama at times. I think he also played with Neil Mopa at Brentford. There were other clubs interested, and West Ham also missed out on a Bere Eze from QPR at the time. He obviously went to Crystal Palace, a signing that I'm probably the most gutted about missing out on since my time supporting the club, because Eze's been one of my favourite footballers to watch in terms of the Premier League since he's moved to Palace. However, Said Benrahma, we were pretty much campaigning in the first season for him to play so many more times under David Moyes, but Moyes would have favoured more Masuaku when we were playing a back three with Fornals and Bowen playing behind Antonio. Sometimes he would just play an extra midfielder, sometimes it would be Noble, Rice and Souček. Going into January, it will be either Benrahma or Bowen. They wouldn't play both. He wouldn't play both Benrahma and Bowen. I remember that at the time. It was Fornals and Lingard were guaranteed. But Benrahma and Bowen would switch around as playing time, because Fornals' work rate was key and Lingard was absolutely superb as a loan deal. But eventually he did get to play, but it did take a long time for him to score his first goal. However, he wasn't given a run of games throughout the season. He did score his first goal against Brighton. I actually should have worn. You guys can't see it, actually. I don't know whether you guys can see it. There's a light blue shirt over there. A light blue shirt there, and that's got Said Benrahma on the back. And that was in the 21-22 season, the away kit. And I was campaigning a lot for Said Benrahma to start more games. But in the end, he gave you some really good games. He gave you some really promising moments. I think probably his best performance of the 21-22 season was probably Genk away. He scored 2 goals, and that was a game we should have won. He gave everyone some good moments as well. Played well in the Sevilla game. Played well against other teams as well. He mainly came out of his shell in the 22-23 season, where West Ham did struggle a lot and bought a lot of players, and pretty much should have won Player of the Hammer of the Year for me. It should have been Declan Rice. But don't get me wrong, Declan Rice was good in the second half of the season, but first half of the season he wasn't that good that season. However, Said Benrahma was class. Was class that season. He was still frustrating though. Don't get me wrong, the guy would take too long to cross the ball. Kept going inside out, but actually not beating the player. He didn't have enough explosiveness to beat a player either. The problem is the way we played Cresswell slightly on the inside and Benrahma on the touchline. And Benrahma was awful on the touchline. Benrahma in the pockets, you want him there. At times he can strike a ball really well, but at other times he would either pass the ball to the goalkeeper, or it goes out for a throw-in, or it goes straight over the bar. So there was too much inconsistency with Said Benrahma shooting. However, a really important game that season from Said Benrahma, and a really important performance, was the Conference League final. The Conference League final, he didn't play that well, but he scored a penalty that gave us the lead, and that was the best day of my life. The best day of my life by far. I'll never forget that trophy day. We'll probably never see a trophy again at this club, but grateful for everyone involved, including Said Benrahma. Was very key in terms of the competition in the Conference League. He played really well in both games against AZ Alkmaar as well. His work rate was absolutely superb, which his work rate was always looked down upon at times, and him and Moyes probably got along, but it wasn't probably Moyes' favourite player to play. Don't get me wrong, he probably was slightly mistreated at times. However, ultimately, I didn't think he was good enough for the club still, especially at the start of this season. I was like, okay, it's probably time to go, unfortunately. But that's okay. That's okay. He's done enough for the club, and I hope he does well at Lyon. But that's it, really. He'll probably be known as a cult hero, just like Pablo Fornals. I've been campaigning that Pablo Fornals and Benrahma both not good enough to be at the club for much longer, and they're both not at the club anymore. And we need to move past it and stuff like that. But thank you for watching, everyone. That was the 3 departures. Farewell, Ben Johnson, Divin Mubama, and Benrahma. We will move past. We will probably thrive as a club in this coming season, and I hope they thrive at their clubs to an extent. And yeah, make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. Join me for the watch along at 4:45 for England versus Slovakia. Social medias are in the description if you want to follow me, and the email for the inquiries. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.